And now we bring you a simple story of everyday people. There's no place like home.
And so, Doctor,
if indeed you are a doctor,
perhaps you would like to tell us exactly what's going on.
Going on? What do you mean?
you know very well what we mean. This disease, this so-called wombat flu.
That's racing round the town and is going to make everyone's skin fall off and melt our insides and cause our heads to explode.
I never actually said that, Cherry.
Well, you said something of that sort, didn't you, Oona?
Yes, Cherry, of course she did. So, Doctor, I don't think we need to focus on the precise combination of words you use. You certainly did suggest that the town is at risk of a highly aggressive strain of an extremely infectious and potentially fatal new virus.
For which there is no cure.
Which has been identified here in Coochie Creek.
Yes, Oona, that's true. Recently I have been visited by a number of patients who have displayed symptoms consistent with
working in a mine and having a good lawyer.
With Australparamyxovirus 25, otherwise known as
wombat flu?
AUPMV25, which is responsible for causing
wombat flu.
Acute contagious respiratory disease, otherwise known as
wombat flu.
Otherwise known as
heavy metal poisoning, toxic shock and smoke inhalation.
Wombat flu.
Ha! Wombat flu. The suspiciously new disease that suddenly popped up in the town.
And which, so far, has affected precisely 5 members of the community.
All of whom are from the same family.
The Van Doink family.
Who just happened to be the family of the manager of that new pink Zanussia mine.
Please, I don't know that we should go down that route. The mining company has very good lawyers.
And we townsfolk have had to endure weeks of wearing masks,
ordering coffee out of windows,
staying home,
turning away guests.
I haven't even been able to pick up litter. Well, I haven't been able to direct my husband to pick up litter.
But Cherry, Oona, the mine is perfectly safe. 24 lawyers can't be wrong.
24 concerned residents of a small town can't be wrong. I would remind you, Doctor, that we are respectable residents of a small town. We are retirees. We are mothers. We are volunteers. We are the people who sit on committees, raise money for charity and write letters to the editor. And we are not in the habit of being contradicted by smarty pants, doctors, lawyers and mining companies.
But this is a disease, a new disease. If people don't wear masks and sanitize and keep their distance, they could get very sick.
So far, nobody other than this ridiculous Van Doink family has got sick. And that family have practically admitted that you have invented this disease because you were...
Oh, please don't. None of us need this sort of aggravation. It's so bad for the gut microbiome.
Because you were coerced into doing it.
But I'm a doctor. I have professional ethical standards. I would never...
Any profession with ethical standards tends to be full of very, very dubious people.
But is it worth taking the chance? I mean, even if those children don't actually have wombat flu, what's the harm in taking precautions? Is it such a bad thing to be safe, to be sanitised, to guard against germs, spores and evil miasmas?
Yes, it is a bad thing.
Well, of course it is. This isolation ordinance has caused appalling inconvenience to everyone in the town.
Everyone. I mean, think of poor Mr. Zigarudas, the school teacher, stuck away in an empty school with nothing to do except...
Read the paper, sleep under his desk and drink glasses of extra strong orange juice. Yes, well,
Maybe he isn't the best example. But think of the children. They're having a terrible time. They can't go to school. They have to stay at home on their computers, only interacting with the world via social media. How miserable for them. Being stuck on Instagram all day. Well, maybe that's not a good example either.
But my poor daughter Lindy. Doctor, you have no idea what she's been going through.
I do, actually. She came to see me.
Oh, yes, that's right. You gave her those pills, didn't you? Well, ever since her accident, she's been stuck in the house having to isolate.
Good. She should be in the house. She fell off a ladder, and frankly, I think she may have been suffering from fairly severe stress.
Lindy, suffering from stress? Oh, I can't think why.
Maybe we're not giving her enough to do. She needs guidance, my daughter. That's why I moved in with her. You know, her partner left her.
But we ladies of the community rallied around her and kept her busy, so she couldn't possibly be suffering from stress.
Anyway, she's quite happy now. Those pills have done her a power of good. Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, so she's coping all right with social distancing?
What? Well, I suppose Lindy is doing all right, yes. Maybe she's not a good example. But nevertheless, this disease is causing huge problems for the community. I mean...
My husband, David, he's having to stay home all day. He can't go out. He can't go to the pub. He can't... And I suppose that is a bit of a godsend, really. I never did like him spending time with his mates, people like Monkey and Gus and Fat Cat. And it is useful that he's able to do so many chores around the house. So maybe David is a bad example. But it's the principle of the thing. This disease is proving extremely unpleasant and inconvenient for the town.
What about poor Stephen and Dennis at the cafe? They have to serve coffee through a window.
Actually, Oona, I think they're quite enjoying that. The cafe has never been cleaner, and there's less washing up.
True. Well, maybe that's a bad example. But Fraser at the pub, he's losing so much business.
Except for the people who are choosing to ignore the isolation ordinance. Gus, for example, and Rowan, and Charlene, and Boggo, and Ockie, and Karen. They're still going to the pub.
Well, that's very irresponsible of them.
Yes, but at least it keeps them in one place. Now I think about it, it's quite handy having that lot bunched together. Yes, maybe Fraser isn't a good example, but this disease is proving extremely unpleasant and inconvenient for the town.
Poor Gus can't have his birthday party.
But he is having a birthday party, isn't he?
Well, yes, but he shouldn't.
He shouldn't? So you do agree it's important to isolate?
What? No, he should have a party, but if he was doing the right thing, which is the wrong thing, that is the thing you told him to do, which is to say, to isolate and not have a party, then that would be very unfortunate for him and all of his friends because, well...
Do you want Gus to have a birthday party?
No! Gus's party sounds gross. A hot tub and a keg and kissing games. It's not the sort of thing Coochie Creek needs at all.
And David might go. I certainly don't want that.
Well, surely so long as there's a disease going around the town, Gus won't be able to have a party here.
Yes. It does have its advantages, doesn't it? This pandemic.
Indeed. I mean, it has been quite a lot of fun. Fun is not the right word, but it has been a good thing to be useful, to help keep an eye on people.
Yes. In a funny way, this disease has brought the community together, hasn't it?
Except the members of the community were rather not brought together. It's been rather nice that certain members of the community have been forced to stay indoors.
And even nicer that Cherry and I have had the opportunity to patrol the streets, reminding such people to stay indoors. I've quite enjoyed being a volunteer enforcement officer, peering into people's windows and telling people to cover their faces and go home. It's nice to be useful.
And dear old Phyllis and Mrs. Batty, they think it's just like the war.
How old are Phyllis and Mrs. Batty?
Old enough to remember the war, but not very well. I think Phyllis was born in 1942, but she had a lovely time then, and she's having a lovely time now.
And if we can stop Gus having that revolting party of his...
I don't know that we can stop him having the party, but at least we won't be having it in the town. I understand he's having it at Chutney Farm up at Y-Front.
Chutney Farm? Is Guru Gordon and his harem of shabby disciples back from their holiday?
Apparently so. He seems to have taken advantage of everybody being indoors to sneak back into the district unnoticed.
So even they are turning this disease to their advantage. Well, Doctor, it would seem that your little disease may be working to everyone's benefit.
Except perhaps for those poor Van Doink children with their sore eyes, runny noses and inflamed throats.
Oh, it won't make any difference to them. It'll toughen them up. No, I'm very glad we've had this chat, Doctor.
Well, that's wonderful. Anytime. I'm pleased that you agree that there is a disease racing around the town. It's really so important that...
We don't agree with you, Doctor.
We don't agree at all. This disease is obviously a load of nonsense.
But sometimes a bit of nonsense is just what the world needs. And if it helps to keep daughters and husbands close to home and drunken birthday parties very far away, then I think we can live with a bit of wombat flu for the next week or two.
Indeed. Even if it doesn't exist in a pathological sense, it exists in our minds, and that is good enough for us.
But now you'll have to excuse us, Doctor.
Yes, Oona and I have to mask up and patrol the streets.
To keep the population safe from, well, if not the wombat flu, then from themselves.
So Dr Wisleigh has convinced Cherry and Oona that the wombat flu might be useful. But will they succeed in keeping the population safe from themselves and from germs, spores and evil miasmas? Find out in next week's episode of There's No Place Like Home.